are live. Hey,
Oh no.
everybody.
Hello.
Where are we?
We're live.
We're live
now.
I'm
It's like
alive.
I feel like we're in that Spaceballs movie, and we're like, "This is now. What you're seeing is now." What happened to then? We just passed it. When?
Just now.
Do the thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That and they've gone plaid. Some of my favorite moments of Spaceballs.
Oh, for me, you've captured the stunt doubles. Welcome to the Spaceballs discussion live show. I'm Dan Gunther. We've got Bruce Gibson and Brandi, Jackola over there. Yeah, so as you can see, we're like the extra Unready room this week because we've got no new episodes to talk about. We've got no series that's just wrapped to really talk about. So just throwing this out there as kind of a general Star Trek discussion.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Star Trek, man. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, shots fired. David Jackola, Galaxy Quest greater than Spaceballs.
Yes, but Spaceballs was first.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that now.
I never thought about that. I don't know. They're different in so many ways.
They are different because one is parodying Star Trek, one is parodying Star Wars. So I don't think they're on the same playing field, except for being parodies.
There's the snotty beaming bit, which I always love. Why didn't anybody tell me my butt was so big? Actually, I watched the censored version, so he probably said something else. I'm just realizing now.
He said ass.
Huh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he said ass.
That's funny because I encounter that so many times because I watched it on network television as a kid and taped it off of there. And so that's what I had as the tape. And there were scenes missing and so many scenes that were censored. So the scene where they're firing at Princess Vespa's ship said, how many morons we got in here? That whole scene is redubbed over with morons instead of a-holes. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Now I know what to substitute a-holes with. I'll just say morons.
Apparently.
Because I say a-holes. If I don't want to curse, like I'm not on Picard, I just want to say a-holes. I'll just say morons.
Huh.
They curse on Discovery too.
And they curse in the Star Trek films as well.
Data said, yeah, that one.
My favorite still, and I know I mentioned this before, but it's Into Darkness when Scotty's like, holy sh, and then the door shh. I love that part.
That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good for sure. Even in the future, nothing works. Yeah, I love. This has turned into a Spaceballs discussion. I love it. Well, anyway, getting to the topic that we probably should be talking about. Brandi, what's some Star Trek you've watched recently to kind of, get you through the craziness that's happening in the world right now?
Well, like I said, I've rewatched Discovery a lot, and I continued on that last night with episodes 2 and 3 of season 2. They kind of just rolled into each other, and so I have difficulty remembering, okay, was that in that episode or this episode? Because my brain's still a little scrambled, and my voice is starting to get weird. Sorry. I'm saying that I'm still dealing with throat stuff. But yeah, I excuse me. New Eden still makes me cry. It's that moment when Pike goes back to talk to what's his name?
Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob. Who reminds me of my friend Joe DeGennaro.
I remember that. Yeah.
How's
Joe doing?
I haven't seen him in ages, so I hope he's well. But yeah, when he talks to him and gives him the battery, etc. But just when he comes clean and says, yeah, you were right. And he's just deactivating the beacon and saying, you've given me closure and all these things. And then he goes up and he goes and plugs the thing in. Like the look of wonder on his face as Pike beams out. And then when he lights up the church, I'm just like...
I still think that's probably my favorite episode, Discovery.
It's a good
Yeah.
episode.
It's pretty good. It has a very original series feel to it. I
think that's why I like it. Just because it gives me those good feelings, a little goosebumps.
Mhm.
I don't get goosebumps usually.
And
Unless it's
Brandi,
cold.
before we started too, you were talking about a line that you just realized Pike had said and you hadn't noticed it the first time through.
I don't know how I missed it. The first time through, try 7 or 8 times through that I missed this, where he says, "Oh, so what do you want to do now? Maybe marry some people who aren't that into each other?"
I love that line.
I'm just like, what? How did I miss that? And now I love you so much more. I didn't think I could love you anymore. I do, and then
Oh
I
man,
that one.
yeah, Ensign Mount is a gift to Star Trek for sure.
So
for that
much,
whole season.
so much.
So, Bruce, what Star Trek have you been watching lately?
So today I watched Star Trek Voyager, The Raven.
Oh, and I know why you watched that.
Yeah,
too.
yes, you do. Because we are reading the Star Trek Voyager novel called 7 of 9 for literary treks. And this episode kind of plays into this novel. So I was reading the novel, I was like, I need to watch this episode. It's been a while. So I watched that late today. And I also I'm up to 70% of the novel. I read a lot of it this evening when I was like grilling out pork chops on the grill. I was reading it there too.
I had pork chops for dinner.
Really? Wow.
Yes. Except I call them chort pops because of an unfortunate misspeaking I did many moons ago, and now they're just chort pops, always and forever.
Well, that's awesome. For me, it's pork chops and apple sauce from Brady Bunch. So, my kids asked me, "What are you talking about tonight on the show?" And I said, "I hope it's the Brady Bunch." And there was my reference. So,
there we go.
Do we now need to drink every time that Bruce makes a Brady Bunch reference?
Don't tempt me.
I don't know. I have to get more. I have to line up more glasses of water if we're going to do that.
This is true. He works it into everything.
Yes. Yes.
I feel left out because I did not have pork chops or chort pops tonight. I had we got Chinese takeout. That's our Friday. We do one takeout a week lately. So
good for you.
Had some Chinese food.
What Chinese food did you have?
I had so there's a local restaurant here, and I really love their almond chicken.
Wow! Wait, hold on. Did you hear that, Brandi? There's a local restaurant there. There's a local restaurant where he lives.
Did you stop being a dork?
I just thought it was funny.
You knew what he meant.
I know, but
I just meant at this particular restaurant, their almond chicken is amazing. So I got that, and we had some chow mein and some fried rice and beef and pea pods. That was it.
I can't take it now. I'm getting hungry.
I just had dinner, so I'm done. For a good 4 hours.
I'm pretty full now too. I'm good.
Yes. So Dan, what Star Trek did you watch? What was the last thing you watched?
Well, my fiance and I are currently making our way through Star Trek Enterprise. So we're in season 3 of Enterprise. And I knew Brandi would be excited about that. Nice.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Shran.
We haven't gotten to Proving Ground, the Shran episode of season 3 yet, but we're close to that. And I just realized if my fiance is watching, I just spoiled that. Anyway,
oh come on, you knew he was going to be back.
Oh, she's not watching.
That's true. No, actually, the last episode we watched was Chosen Realm, which is the one where the religious zealots take over the Enterprise and intend to use it in their holy war against the people who believe that the Expanse was created in 10 days, as opposed to them who believe that it was created in 9.
Oh wow, yes, that describes everything that is still going on today about everything.
So yeah, very Star Trek message in that one. The one thing, and this actually, Bruce and I recorded the latest Positively Trek last night, and this discussion came up not during the podcast but beforehand. So I'll share it here, and it won't be doubled up. But I was saying to Bruce about how this is kind of a depressing time right now, and Star Trek really helps. But the thing is, we're right in the middle of season 3. And like, just as an example, that last episode, you know, the religious zealots take over the Enterprise. There's a crew member killed. All this stuff happens. And at the end, they come to their planet and it's been completely destroyed by fighting between these two factions. And I'm like, oh, so uplifting and happy. Huh. So season 3 of Enterprise, while I love it, I absolutely love the whole Xindi arc, there's a lot of darkness in there. So
much. There's so much darkness.
And so much more to come after that episode too. So
oh yes. When I saw that episode, I just thought, oh, so it's like that episode of the original trilogy. Even ends the same way.
Absolutely.
Except instead of being religious zealots, one had one side black and one white, and this one had this black and that white.
Mm-hmm. Oh heavens.
The things people will fight about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I want to watch it. I see that every time we talk about an episode or something, I'm like, oh, now I want to watch that.
Yeah, Frank Gorshin. Love Frank Gorshin.
Oh yeah. Man, I actually haven't watched that in a while. That's a gooder. I'm loving some of the comments here. Lots of Brady Bunch references.
See, it's not me.
Yeah, Dave always does that. So he's always good for that.
If we were going to be taking drinks, this would be too many here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mossy G, me too. You know what? Me too. I also love nerds.
Wait, what are we talking when we say nerds?
Am one, love them.
I didn't know if we were talking about the candy because he capitalized the N in nerds. So I thought, I love the candy of nerds too. The little, you can get a box where you have like strawberry on one side and grape on the other side, and you can mix them up. Love that. Sure, Jan.
It's a good thing we didn't start a drinking game for that.
I think Dave and I are going to start a Brady Bunch podcast together.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Excellent.
Cool.
All right.
You're committed now. Dave's at home, so he's got time on his hands. So
because his wife is doing a live show right now. Dave has nothing to do.
No, well, not just that, but he's not working. So whereas I am.
Nice. Oh, and so I like this. Oh, there it is. Paul Nyad watched Take Me Out to the Holodeck for opening day, or Holosuite. But yeah, that's good way to commemorate that. I like that.
That's good. Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, what other Star Trek is being watched in the comments? I see Christopher Hill said, I watched Star Trek Beyond today. It's my favorite of the 3. It's a good film. You know what's sad, and I'm just kind of realizing it now, I purchased it on Blu-ray and I don't think I've ever watched it since seeing it like 3 times in the theater. I know. I know. I loved it. I really loved it. So
you need to watch it this weekend.
I think I might. I was actually just looking at it the other day thinking like, I really need to watch that again.
Can we just watch that and talk about it on the next live show?
Ooh, sure. That's an idea.
Works for me.
Because it'd be interesting, Dan, to hear your opinions of it because you haven't seen it in such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Has it changed? Does it play different for you? I don't know.
And
it's just an idea. We don't have to do it. I just thought about it because now I want to watch that.
Well, we've also got TKHEY9 who says, I watched Time's Arrow the other day. And yeah, there's some great stuff in that about Data's desire for mortality and that sort of thing. So
now I want to watch that. I'm making a list. I'm binge watch. Wait, what does that say?
Which one?
What? Oh, what?
Brandy's shirt.
My shirt. It's Eddie Izzard. My favorite stand-up comedian.
Excellent. I love it.
We saw him live in June last year. It was amazing. I've never been so exhausted from laughing as during one of his shows.
Those are the best.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Patrick, third part of the Vulcan trilogy last night. Such good episodes.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm loving season 3. I really enjoy season 3 of Enterprise, but I am so looking forward to watching season 4 again. There's so much goodness in that. Yeah. And Third part was the Kirshara is the third part.
Yes,
That's awesome.
that is correct.
So good.
I'm just enjoying other Brady Bunch comments right now. So.
Oh, Dave did a great one for Eddie Izzard, which is Keiko Death.
Go.
That's how Church of England
there we
is
go.
about
You
converting people.
unto me.
Oh man. So yeah, I kind of had an idea for next week's episode, and we can talk about it later. So we might do the Star Trek Beyond thing.
Oh yeah, see, mine just got tossed out. Woo! Out the window.
No, we can incorporate that. I don't know. We'll see. I have some
care.
ideas.
But I want to wait. You can't just tease us. What are your ideas? I want to know.
Okay, so I was thinking we should get the commenters, and I would say maybe the first 4 episodes that are commented by various commenters. We would put those in a Twitter poll and then vote on which one we're all going to watch. So all 3 of us plus everyone in the comments who wants to take part, we're going to watch that for next week's episode and just do like a breakdown discussion about that episode, top to bottom kind of thing. I don't know. Or film. So Star Trek Beyond could be in there too.
So what, the first 4 suggestions?
Yeah, the first 4 in the comments starting now. And Bruce Gibson has Star Trek Beyond. Okay. Should have seen that coming.
In the Pale Moonlight, Move Along Home, and A Fistful of Datas. Those are the first 4.
There we
You can take
go.
mine out. Mine doesn't. Mine
so
should.
fast.
Well, look. Okay, so
Okay, now the next one is also Beyond. So
All right.
there. Now
We're
it
good.
stays.
Oh, there we go. It's official then.
Yep.
Ooh, man, that is quite the spread. That is funny. I love that spread of episodes. So,
wow.
Star Trek Beyond, A Fistful of Datas, Move Along Home, and In the Pale Moonlight.
So I can say that A Fistful of Datas is probably the one that is I haven't seen in a while. The others I've seen probably in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case for me as well.
Well, not for Beyond, for you. Because you haven't seen Beyond, right?
No, well, I saw it in the theater like 3 or 4 times.
But not like in the last 6 months or so.
No, not in the last 6 months for sure. I'm trying to think when the last time I saw Fistful of Datas was.
I haven't seen
quite a while
either. Yeah, Fistful of Datas has been quite a while for me. Move Along Home, I watch it every once in a while because my daughters think it's funny.
Yeah,
Moraine, count to 4. Moraine, send 3 more.
Yes, and Bashir's completely unconvincing screaming. It's like, dude, have you been to an acting class? He was not great in season 1, you guys. He grew on me. He grew on me. Like bacteria. He grew on me, and I came to love him.
I do remember watching DS9 first run and like almost giving up on Bashir completely in that particular episode. I was like, oh my, I hate this guy.
But plus he was kind of creepy and pervy about women, and that was just a big turnoff for me. Like big. Yeah. So he got better.
I think my favorite thing in that episode is, like I said, when that scene when they're all singing and like Avery Brooks has a voice, right? He's like, Moraine, count to, and then it gets to Kira and she's Moraine, count to 4, Moraine, send 3 more.
Yes,
like, I love that
every time too. When he's like, well, I have to sing, you know.
And she's so petulant about it. She's like, I'm doing the bare minimum and you can't make me do otherwise.
I am a Bushoran administrator. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, she's that's Kira. She's great that way.
Yeah. Oh, Mossy G, you know, my latest rewatch of Deep Space Nine, I've always loved O'Brien, but like this last watch through I did, oh man, O'Brien is just the best character in Star Trek. Not actually, but like that's how I felt about him sometimes. Just so great.
There was an interview I just watched with him like yesterday with Comini. Oh, it was good. It was I'm trying to look it up now if I can find it. It was from I
saw somebody had posted that.
Yeah. From Tommy Tiernan's show in well, here, I guess I can put the link in the chat, can I? Wait, yeah, hold on. I'm so creative. I'm so creative. I can do this. I can do this. If anybody wants it, it's like like a 10-minute thing or something. No, 14 minutes. But yeah, it's a good interview. Yeah, check that out. They do talk Star Trek.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite a bit. So yeah.
Paul Nyad, Bashir was just acting creepy, hiding his augment. That could be. That could
Not
be.
buying it.
You know, I think that's why he got that question wrong on his final exam, right?
Yeah, but the way he was always creeping on Jadzia, I'm just like, ew.
Yeah, Mosi G, I think it is the one you posted. I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah, in the Positively Trek group, I believe. Yeah. Go to Facebook, search Positively Trek, by the way, if you haven't joined the group already. It's a lot of fun. Lots of great people posting great stuff. So did you put the link in the comments, Bruce, or no?
I did, but it went away.
Yeah, I don't see it popping up.
I saw it pop up. I did. I swear I saw it pop up and oh good, there it is. And then
really?
Gone. Yeah.
It's just not here.
Maybe this platform doesn't allow links. Because I swear
maybe
it showed up and then I saw it and now it's gone.
Oh, okay, because I was kind of watching for it. I didn't see it.
Well, if anybody's watching on YouTube, it's still there. Or was it? Yeah, it's still there. If you're in the YouTubes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Let me back up. We're on StreamYard, so we're seeing everybody's comments through StreamYard. If you're on YouTube, everybody's seeing the link.
Right. Okay.
In the chat. So we're good.
Awesome.
Because no one's seeing what we're seeing.
And we're not seeing what everyone else is seeing to a degree. I'm just gonna stop talking.
It's weird.
It's a little strange.
I love Brandi's look right now because it looks like she's looking at Dan real like, yeah. Oh! Ow!
Oh no!
Ow!
Where do I look?
Ow! Wow!
Excellent. Too many mushrooms. Is that? Who are you talking about there? Are you talking about us?
If only I were high. I'm just kidding. I don't do drugs. Not even recreational drugs because I'm already loopy enough all on my own.
I have never done drugs. I haven't. I swear I haven't. I'm just saying.
Just sent a request. Well, I'll tell you what. I will right now go and approve and let you into the Facebook group. There you are.
Now you see how the magic happens.
Waiting for my slow internet.
Yeah, Dan does not have the best internet. It's actually pretty decent now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for mine to completely fail.
Anything else.
Yeah.
You should be in the group now.
All right.
Awesome.
That's
there you go. You got to
I don't think I've ever posted anything in that group. Now that I think about it. I've commented.
I've posted new episodes, but the last one I posted a day late for some reason. Oops.
Christopher Hill, this is where I live. It is the heart and center of the LDS Church. So we thought that was pretty funny when it came up in Star Trek 4. We're like,
yeah.
Although I do tend to think that those people in the LDS Church are just a
maybe a little bit too much LDS.
I know this from the inside because I was born into the religion, and when I grew up, I went bye.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was not for me.
All right. Well, it also probably tech talk.
What is going on now?
Because we got religion out of the way. So,
Dan, your internet's all messed up again.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you an imitation of what it was like. So,
okay, he's exaggerating. It was not that bad.
It was something like that. I don't know what you said. I don't know what you said. That's the thing. I just heard something about religion was in there.
I just said we should probably talk politics and sex now because we've talked religion.
Oh, sweet. So. Cool.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh.
We didn't really talk about religion so much as I just said that I wasn't a
I know,
fan of the LDS religion.
I'm better talking about sex than religion, so I don't know if we want to go there though.
Well,
Probably
sex,
not.
if it done right, can be a religious experience.
Oh yeah. Hallelujah.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that
goodness.
Republican Party. Just get it all out of the way.
Yeah. Well, they're to the right if it's done right, right?
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Sorry. Okay, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
I
that-
really wish I knew what my face looked like now.
Yeah, you'll have to go
There's
back
a lot
and
of
watch the
comments
YouTube.
on it. Oh boy.
Watch on YouTube later, yeah. Yeah, Liam, you're saying you wish you got a screenshot. When we're done, you can rewind the YouTube feed of this, the stream of it, and get that screenshot.
And then
I'm
send
glad
it to everyone.
I'm glad I'm not famous enough to be memed and have it spread really far. So
That's true.
I'm glad. Again, not knowing what that face looked like. So
Poor Jennifer.
oh man, I still haven't looked.
You haven't
up.
watched that?
It's-
Anybody who hasn't watched it, you got to go to hashtag poor Jennifer. It came out a few weeks ago, and it's people on Zoom like having a meeting, and Jennifer forgot to turn her camera off. And that's all I'm saying. And it's hashtag poor Jennifer.
yeah.
I don't know. This has nothing to do with Star Trek, except when we do our podcast, we do use Zoom as our backup recording and stuff. So there's a connection.
Well, luckily I am on my like desktop computer that is, I'm not going to carry it around and go places that I shouldn't and forget to turn the camera off. So.
No, but that would be great if you did.
Sure would.
Oh, I'm going to regret that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Nope. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, what other Star Trek have people been watching? And also, I also mentioned when I created this, we can do this as an Ask Us Anything thing too. So anybody who has questions, can't guarantee we'll answer everything, I guess, depending on what you ask. But yeah,
I have a topic idea when we need one too. So
by all means.
well, I know. I mean, the chat. Let them pick something for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, get busy, chat. Do some of the work.
Yeah,
Here.
like
This is a symbiotic relationship.
I kind of like this.
This is true. Have you seen that video that's like 5 minutes long of him sitting down
Yes.
and sitting up in
Supercut.
chairs?
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh.
He was another one of those characters that made me uncomfortable with his attitudes towards women.
Mhm.
So
Well, and then he had to
Yeah.
tone it down, and then Troy said, "Okay, now I'll start dating you again."
yep. She was waiting for him to stop being a horn dog.
Mhm.
Mhm. So airspeed velocity of a swallow. First of all, is that a laden or unladen swallow? And is it African or European?
Yes.
So not enough
Yeah.
questions.
Oh,
like that.
swallow like a bird,
Yeah, like is it carrying a coconut or is it unladen?
not like
we need to
swallowing.
know this.
How would it grip the coconut?
By the husk.
Right. Sorry, we went off on a little Monty Python detour there.
I like
Never
it.
a bad
I
thing.
like it.
Never a bad thing.
So Beantown Brown, is Picard season 2 going to have a couple of Ferengis with Russian accents? Not.
Wow.
I don't know the reference, but
I have never thought about that, honestly. Well, why haven't we heard Ferengi with Russian accents? We've only heard them like we haven't heard various accents in Ferengi. We have now with Romulans,
yeah, that's true.
but not with Ferengi.
See, though, okay, let's tie it into canon. The way they would do it is they would say they found an elderly Starfleet admiral, and he told them the best English language schools are in Russia. So that's where they went to study English.
So I was
Everything
editing.
good is from Russia.
I was editing our last literary treks that comes out this Sunday. Oh yeah, take a drink. But when I'm reading from the book, I was cringing listening to myself read that. and doing the voices of Chekhov and Sulu because I didn't practice and I really wasn't. It was bad. It was so bad. And I was like, listening to myself, I'm like, why am I slipping from a Russian accent to a Scottish accent for Chekhov? It was not good. So anybody who listens to that episode 300, you can turn it off 15 minutes before the end.
Don't listen all the way to the end, you guys.
Don't do it. Are there other questions?
Yeah, we've got Christopher Hill. What's the best thing you have done for a fellow Trekkie?
Ooh,
it's an interesting question. I don't know how to answer that.
The only Trekkie I get to physically see and hang out with is David R. George III, who writes Star Trek novels, and I've bought him lunch a couple of times.
That's very nice of you.
Does that count?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I may have. I will neither confirm nor deny. Given my CBS All Access login information to my sister Becky so that she could watch Discovery.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
That's good.
I think for me it would be I kind of created a Trekkie. My friend Bobby in 2009, she saw Star Trek 2009 with all of us. It was the first Star Trek she had ever seen. And after that, she said, I want to watch Star Trek. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what do you want to start with? But she's like, no, I want to watch all of Star Trek. Started in 1966 all the way. It's like, all right. So over the course of 6 years, I, with her, watched every episode of Star Trek up to that point, which was the end of Enterprise. And that was kind of the best thing that I've done with a Trekkie, if that makes sense.
I have another one. That's the best thing I have done for a fellow Trekkie. Married him.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Gosh, mine sounds so lame. I bought lunch.
Hey,
I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's the little things.
Well, because seriously, I don't really know anybody around me that's a Trekkie. Everybody I know is online and through podcasting and stuff. So everybody's remote. So it's not like I've really done anything for you guys. I don't know.
Oh, I did something for Liam. I didn't really think of that.
What?
Because it was just okay. During the last Fan X, Zachary Levi was a guest, and Liam's friend is a huge Zachary Levi fan and has never met him. He has never come to Adelaide area. So, and who knows if he ever will, etc. So he asked me if I would get an autograph for his friend. And I'm like, absolutely. Because I was going to be in line to talk to him anyway. So I did that and shipped it off to Australia and was happy to do it. Wow. It was really no struggle for me at all. So I don't feel like it was really that much effort.
You've got a lot. This just says a lot about you as a person, Brandi.
Absolutely.
Because you can keep rattling things off where I can't. What does that say?
You're gonna think of a million things after this is over.
I probably will. I just thought of another one. I bought a drink for Amy Nelson once.
Oh yeah. I like this question here. Who do you identify with most in the Picard series? I like that. That's an interesting question.
Oh.
I thought it was an interesting question.
Well, I know.
No, it is.
Think about it. Who do I relate? Who identify the most?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's harder than we thought.
I'm sorry. Wait, I can't even remember her name right now. Why can't the Admiral?
Oh, Admiral Clancy.
Clancy. That's me. The reason I just thought about that is because so many times I'm at work and somebody comes to my desk and is and I just want to do what she did. It's going through my mind the whole time. Like, are you effing crazy? Like,
I like it.
Dave told us not to touch our faces, so I'm just pissing him off.
I don't know.
Well,
So who do you guys identify
I
with?
literally this morning just sanitized everything here, and I just washed my hands right before we started. So,
Yeah.
Well, honestly, the only germs we're really sharing are our own,
Right.
Dave.
I'm touching my
have been
screen, which is
for
their
like a month.
faces.
but seriously, if you're out and about and don't touch your face, that's good advice.
Yes.
Who do I identify most with? Narek. No. I don't know. That's a
Elnor. I
Hmm.
identify with Elnor because I just feel naive a lot of times. And it's like, what's going on? And I didn't get one. And that's how I feel a lot of times.
I like it.
I think I identify most with Laris
I was hoping you were going to say that.
because she is just like, you are all idiots. She's no nonsense. She knows what needs to be done. And just, if she tells you it's a bad idea, you better listen. So,
Yeah. I think I'm going to say I identify most with Riker in the episode Nepenthe, where, I'm not necessarily the one who's going to be out there doing crazy stuff, but like my friends who, I'll support them and I'll give them encouragement, and, I'm a good shoulder and someone they can talk to. That's how I feel.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Mossy G, I like this. What's your favorite fourth wall moment in Star Trek?
Oh God.
Did you mean fourth as in FOURTH, as in the number?
I assume so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, just making sure. I'm like, is this some newfangled phrase that I'm not aware of? Because, that's totally possible.
I mean, there's the classic in the pale moonlight, Sisko addressing the screen, kind of counts, I think.
Yeah.
I like that. I
can't even really think of any right now.
I can't
or
either.
like a more like humorous, like fourth wall break. By that I know what you mean, but I'm struggling to think off the top of my head.
Oh gosh, I know there's got to be one that I can't think of. That. What would it be? I don't know.
There's one that almost kind of qualifies. Oh no. Okay. I know what my answer is now. It's in the 5th season opener of Deep Space Nine, Apocalypse Rising, where Kira and Bashir are talking, and Kira's talking about like all the symptoms with being pregnant, and she turns to Bashir and says, "You realize this is all your fault?" And he says, "My fault." Well, the actor,
she was pregnant with his baby.
Yeah, that was their baby together. So
that's right.
That is definitely my absolute favorite.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that.
Gosh, I'd have to think for a while. I'm not getting anything, but that's a good one.
Yeah, that's Star Trek is so vast; it would be hard for me to think.
I guess the one I just came to mind that I like kind of falls into this is Star Trek 6 when I forget her name, but the changeling kisses Kirk and McCoy's like, "What's up with
what is it with you
anyway?"
I mean, that's not quite, but that kind of is like a wink at the camera of like, yeah, we all know Kirk's always kissing the ladies,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and furthermore, later on in that movie, when she morphs into Kirk and he says, "I can't believe I kissed you." She says, "Must have been your lifelong ambition."
That's actually where I thought you were going initially, Bruce. I love that.
Wasn't the actress Iman? Isn't that her name?
Yes.
Yeah. One that popped into my head doesn't quite qualify as a fourth wall break, but one I always liked was when Nog is living in the Vic Fontaine program, basically, and there it's like, well, at least it's the Vic Fontaine program and not that ridiculous Viking program. And she was like, "Hey," or that stupid secret agent program. "Hey," like they just keep piling. I like that.
I just thought of another one when you're saying that. Trials and Tribulations, when Dax is commenting about like the tricorder, this 60s look, but she's calling it the 23rd century look of things.
Yeah, the classic 23rd century design. Yeah, that's good. Pastor Andy. If Worf appears in Picard, will he look like a disco Klingon? Okay, two answers to that. First of all, they have outright said that no, if Worf appears, he will look like the Worf we know and love. Second of all, he did appear in the first episode. There's a image of him during the news report when Picard's being interviewed. There's an image of him, so he has appeared in
Wait,
Picard.
where's that? We saw his image?
Yep. When they're giving like a little bio of Picard, like he's a diplomat, a soldier, blah blah blah, and now I'm sitting down to interview. One of the pictures is him standing in the Klingon Great Hall
you're
beside
right.
Worf.
Yes. I remember that
from Redemption or Sins of the Father, one of the two, or Reunion, one of them.
One of them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry, but when I first read the question, I thought, why would Worf show up wearing the disco outfit? Like, I'm thinking, like, yeah. I was thinking, like, he would look like Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, I guess. You know,
and I was just like, but he isn't from the disco era, so why would he look like a disco queen?
I know.
I was so confused.
So you went there too?
Yes.
And I was like, what? And Dan's like, oh, I can answer that. I was like, what?
I was so confused.
And then I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't just me. Thank you, Bruce.
Oh, let's do more, Dan.
Yeah, these are good. Some great questions.
I wish I had a real drink.
Zamboni Josiah says, what was your single best Star Trek experience? Ooh.
Oh, I know that one, but I can't go on with that one.
Well, now you've got us all.
Oh, no, I mean, I can tell you, but I don't want to go through the story because it would take too long. But it was like how I accidentally ended up at the red carpet for the premiere of Discovery with all the actors there. And it was at the red carpet. And I just accidentally got a ticket in, and they accidentally put me in the front row center. And I'm sitting with all these former Star Trek and the Discovery actors all around me and their families. And then we watched the first 2 episodes and everybody's hugging and kissing. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And I felt so underdressed because I wasn't supposed to be there because people were a little dressed up. And I'm just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans. I'm like, I don't know. It was a great night.
Still the craziest story.
It's a crazy story. I walked in, I'm going in my seat, like I'm hanging out. Literally, it was just me, Larry Nemechek, the Yakutas, and Scott Mance and his wife, Scott Mance from Access Hollywood. Or like, we were all just in this group, and we're like, oh, we should probably go in now. We walk up the ramp together, and I'm walking up with them. I'm like, I can't believe I'm with these people. And then we go in, they're like, oh, you guys are up there, and sir, you're in the front. I was like, see ya.
Like, what?
I know, it was weird.
I just gotta like imagine, I don't know, William Shatner standing outside going like, what do you mean you don't have a seat for me? What, who's Bruce Gibson?
Oh, I would have loved that. And he was there.
It's true. So yeah, my single best Star Trek experience, it's not even gonna compare to that, but I would say going to STLV, and it was when the Nevada Pops were playing all the like Star Trek music. I think this was 2011, I want to say, this particular time. And when they were playing the Inner Light Suite, and like I got weepy just from the music. And I was like, oh, this is what people are talking about when they say great music just moves them to tears. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It was amazing. And sharing that with people around me, that was one time I went to the convention all by myself. I went alone and just met people there and made friends there. And so like the people around me going through the same experience, people I had just met, I was just like, it was a great experience.
Oh, that sounds great.
No. Brandi?
It's when she's done favors for those Trekkies.
It's hard to say because it's hard to categorize what was the best, because things were great for different reasons, and so it's hard to elevate one over all of those other things. Gotta choose something. I'm being so flaky. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, and
So-
I don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
No,
either.
no. It's okay. Because I'm gonna say this because it's not what I would call my best experience because they've all been pretty great experiences. But meeting Tony Todd was
that's a good one.
amazing because
Yeah.
he is he's so cool, y'all. He's so cool and he's so tall. I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'9". So, but he was just we just talked. And then we started sharing stories about cats that we'd had that passed away and how it upset us and stuff that. And it was just like, I just want to stay here and talk to you forever. And, I got a selfie with him and he put his arm around me and he was telling I don't know why celebrities always tell my husband, hey, you've got a great lady there. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know this guy is amazing in his own right. So, but yeah, that's one of my best experiences, but there have been so many that it's difficult to choose and single one out.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've seen Tony Todd and like exchanged like 2 or 3 words with him at the Calgary Comic Expo one year, but my friend Patrick got an amazing interview with him where he talked about his experience on The Visitor and what that meant to him, and it's man, I'll see if I can find that. He's got it up on YouTube somewhere. I'll find it and post it in the Positively Trek Facebook group. I'll make a note to remember that.
And he was also on Chuck, so he gets double brownie points for being on 2 of my favorite shows of all time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Have you ever sock danced with anyone? I think so, like junior high, maybe in the gym or something. I don't know.
That's such a random question.
I just thought it was a fun question.
I know. Yes.
Probably.
Yes. So in high school, I used to go to many dances and yes, sometimes in my shoes, sometimes socks. And one reason I have to be in socks because sometimes this is back in the 80s, sometimes do certain breakdancing and moonwalking in socks better. So
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have never sock danced with another person. I have sock danced, but
yeah,
but
I was doing stuff with other people.
I'm not.
Or like, is it like a sock puppet dancing with another sock puppet? Nope. Okay.
We can interpret it that way. That would be fun.
So is this like what we saw on the board cube? Like that kind of sock dancing, just kind of sliding and dancing and all that?
That's skidding. That's not at all.
I'm assuming that's what inspired the question.
Yeah, I think he followed up with that. With Narek on a board cube was the reference. Yep, that's what he just said. So
okay.
I was like, wait, what is that? And then it just dawned on me. Oh, wait, I know where this is coming from. Everything connects to Star Trek. Everything.
Absolutely. TNG Maddox or Picard Maddox?
Oh.
Sure, they're both fine, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will have to say the Maddox and Picard had a lot more emotional stuff to kind of have to take on. Yeah. So I don't know that. I think each Maddox was good for what they had to do because they both did their jobs very well in each episode. So
agree. Very diplomatic and probably the same answer I would have given.
I know. I was just thinking Picard, but I don't know. For that reason, Dan, yeah, I agree. But then what Maddox does in TNG is so good too. That whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking. I'm slowly catching up on the comments because I'm looking for questions. Of course, I'm assuming this is going back to the fourth wall breaks. So Harry Kim not being promoted and calling it out when Paris was promoted back to lieutenant count. I think that absolutely counts as a fourth wall break.
That
Where he's
really
like, I
pissed
didn't
me
see a
off.
little box on my chair, Captain.
Yes.
The writers hated Kim so much.
I
and
don't
it makes me so
understand that.
sad.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, because I'm
No.
one of those weird people that loved Harry Kim and always
No.
thought he deserved so much better than what they gave him to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Liam Smart says the actor's on some kind of Star Trek thing from First Contact. Absolutely. Fourth wall break. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I always like the one that they did in in All Good Things as well. And Q even kind of like punctuates it. He's like, it's time to end your little trek through the stars. Make room for more worthy species. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just looking for more questions now. So feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Oh, this is another fourth wall break. Sorry. Bride of Chaotica, Tom saying to Harry that sets were expensive after Harry remarked that all the planets look the same. That was a good one. Yeah.
The truth, absolutely the truth, though, for a show like that.
That's a good one.
Oh, and David saying Tony Todd is super cool and will chat your ear off at a convention.
And
Very
I will
nice.
happily listen.
So I'm assuming this is best Star Trek experience. TKHUI9 says having dinner with Garrett Wang and telling him I'd just been promoted to lieutenant in my Star Trek fan group. Just rubbing it in there. Right?
That's good.
Wow.
You know, I think we should see Harry Kim in Picard, and Picard. This is breaking the fourth wall. Picard's like, "You're still an ensign."
How old are you now?
Oh, that would be so bad. Well, my favorite thing is, Voyager started in season 3 of Deep Space Nine, and Nog joined Starfleet Academy in season 4 of Deep Space Nine. He officially started going to the Academy. By the end of Deep Space Nine, at which time Voyager still had 2 seasons to go, Nog had graduated, been an ensign, and then promoted to lieutenant junior grade in the final episode of Deep Space Nine. And Kim still had 2 more years of being an ensign after that. So
yeah, but okay, I will say that I hadn't thought about that. That's really good. I will say though, it really does bother me that Harry Kim doesn't get promoted. So in my headcanon, I keep waiting for a novel or comic to do this, but have it where Harry does get promoted, but then he does something wrong that he gets like really drastically wrong that Janeway says, I have to demote you, and there's no way that you're going to qualify for a promotion for the next 2 years. And boom, they're back to the Alpha Quadrant before that.
Oh, like a novel that takes place during Voyager.
Yeah, during Voyager, during the
Okay.
TV series, where that would happen, where he does get promoted, but then something happens, he gets demoted, and so he screwed himself of getting promoted for a while. And then they're back home before it happens.
I kind of like that, actually.
That's in my head canon. I always think that because I'm like, poor Harry, poor Jennifer, poor Harry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Paul Nyad says a book you were disappointed in.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
Oh, I've got one ready to go.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
By all means.
Two, actually, the Spirit Walk Voyager novels by Christy Golden.
Not a fan.
Not only disappointed, but angry is what those books made me.
Disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But disappointment is far more powerful.
That's a good one. Oh, the book must disappoint. I mean, I just thought of something, but I don't know if I'm really was that disappointed because I felt like I already knew that I wasn't probably going to like it. It's How Much for the Planet? How much for the
just the planet?
Just the planet, yeah.
How much for just the planet?
But I don't want to say maybe I was a little disappointed because it didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. That one's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, but I absolutely also see why people would dislike it for sure.
Yeah, but it's not that I was disappointed because I already was going in thinking I'm probably not going to really like this. I think.
Just random old TOS novels that I've read. There's one called Shadow Lord that is just not a good book. It's like it was almost like a sandals and swords type story that like Star Trek got shoehorned in, kind of. It's been a long time since I read it, but I did not like that book.
I can tell you something. It's a book that hasn't even come out or been written. But speaking earlier of David R. George III, he wrote Deep Space Nine: Original Sin, and I want to see a follow up to that. And nothing's going on with that. So I'm disappointed there's not a follow up to that novel.
Yeah. Disappointed in a lack of novel.
Yes.
Liam Smart, if you could create a premise for a new show, what would it be?
Oh, I already know this one. I've had this one in mind for a while. I want to see I think we're talking Star Trek, right?
I'm assuming, yes.
Because I could give you a Brady Bunch sequel idea I have too. No, the Brady Brides. Oh wait, that's already been done. So no, what I want to see is a Star Trek series where they go beyond our galaxy and they want to travel beyond the galaxy, and there's only a certain time that they can go through whatever wormhole or whatever to get to another galaxy, and then just they know they can't come back for a few years. So it's almost like Voyager where you're cut off, but I want it to be really strange where, the physics of things are so different because it's a totally different universe,
That's cool. Yeah. I you say it's kind of like Voyager, but I think your idea has one fundamental big difference from Voyager. And one of the things that always just kind of not irked me, I guess, but just was in the back of my mind when watching Voyager was, they're far away and they're cut off, but they're like desperately trying to get home.
Right.
Which I don't know, as a premise for a series, I wasn't that into. I like yours where they're cut off, but they're cut off because of this spirit of exploration and pioneering spirit of wanting to go out there and knowing that they're going to get cut off, but doing it anyway. And I don't know, there's something just a little bit more aspirational about that to me that I really like. I think that's a really interesting idea. Yeah. Kind of like I'm actually rewatching Stargate right now, and I'm not quite there yet, but that reminds me a little bit of Stargate Atlantis, where they make this connection to Atlantis, and if the connection is good, they're gonna go now, and they have no idea if they're gonna be able to reconnect to get back to Earth or anything like that. So I like that spirit of adventure kind of mythos behind a series. That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Any ideas for a series, Brandi?
Not a one. Zero ideas. I'm not an idea person.
That's surprising to me.
Fair enough.
I don't come up with ideas. I can work with ideas that other people have come up with, but I don't really have many original ideas in the chaos that is my mind.
After Deep Space Nine ended, I had one that I kind of wrote out, and I think it was basically because I was sad Deep Space Nine was over and I wanted to play in that area a little bit more. And it was kind of like Starfleet hospital and rescue ships in Cardassian space, dealing with the fallout from the defeat of the Dominion and helping get Cardassia back on its feet and stuff. And I was like, ooh, we can have like rogue Jem'Hadar that have somehow been cut off, and they're the antagonists that pop up. I don't know. I had a bunch of ideas back then, and I wrote a bunch out, but that was a long time ago.
What would you guys be open to a Klingon only series, or just centered on Klingons? I don't think I'd really want that, but I've heard people say that sometimes. Like we've got the IKS Gorkon books, which surprisingly I like, but I also feel like they're taking a crew of Klingons and put them on the ship and making it like Star Trek. Captain, first officer, Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
I think like as a mini series, maybe like a 3-part mini series, 2 hours each or something like that. Like, the old style television mini series back in the day. Something like that, like a very limited thing maybe. But I don't see it as really sustainable.
Yeah.
They could really surprise me, though.
Especially if it's all
I'm not
Klingon.
a writer.
If they all speak Klingon through the whole thing, right?
It's all subtitled.
Oh God.
So, Elwood Dowd Jr. says something that was another idea I've always had in my head. I'm not big into medical. It's not that one, but I'm not. Well, it kind of is. I'm not into big medical shows, but I always thought a medical starship, kind of like what we saw in All Good Things, where Crusher was the captain of a medical ship. I always thought like a MASH/ER type thing or House or whatever in Star Trek would work really well. Because you're visiting other planets, like, you're going there for relief or to save people who are dying or whatever, and it's all medical. And again, I'm not into medical shows, but my wife is, and I just think a Star Trek medical show would be interesting.
Could be cool. And yeah, shout out Elwood Dowd. He's the guy actually that interviewed Tony Todd that I was telling you about earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, what a coincidence.
Yeah. The other one, and I think he'd get a kick out of this too, that I would love to see is like an Articles of the Federation type series, like West Wing, but in the 24th century, I think would be really cool. Like focusing on the high level kind of politics of the Star Trek universe. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. I love the West Wing. So
my wife is doing a rewatch. It's on every night now.
Nice. Oh man. I like this mini series on the Great Klingon Tribble War.
See, okay, I'm glad that was mentioned, because a mini series I would go for if it was all Klingon. I could do that, but not like a whole running series. But yeah.
Beta Artemis, Star Trek OSHA focuses on the health and safety standards of Starfleet, or its lack of. I love that. The high-powered EPS conduits running behind every console with no grounding, apparently.
And no seatbelts, no handrails.
Yeah.
Except on La Serena. Seatbelts. La Serena.
That would be a good show for Seth MacFarlane to handle after Orville.
They had West Wing in the Trek universe. It was called The Next Generation, but would love that idea too. Yeah. So he and I have talked about the West Wing and comparing it to TNG a lot. So like aspirationally, we figure those two shows are both in the same thing, because it's kind of like the best people for the job, and like the best and brightest whose motivation is solely to make the world a better place. And so that's kind of like how those two shows are related. So
the way the West Wing was shot, it'd be interesting if they did a Star Trek show like that, where the camera follows the characters as they're moving from room to room. I know there's been times like the camera's moving out with the characters as they're walking down a corridor, but if it's moving from room to room and then it hits on another character as they move to something, it's almost like you're touring the starship. That would be really cool.
They'd have to actually build more than one corridor set, though.
They would have to build quite a bit. Yeah. I'd like that.
Oh, I have an idea.
Yay!
Awesome.
That's what she's been doing this whole time.
except it's not a Star Trek. I mean, it's a Star Trek idea, but it's not in space. Star Trek Daystrom Institute. Now that the ban has been lifted, what are they up to?
Ooh. Oh. Okay, that just like flashed into my head like Eureka or Fringe, but in Star Trek.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. That would be good.
That's cool.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
Liam Smart, what if we had a series that was like episode 1 Kronos, episode 2 Vulcan, episode 3 Tellar, etc.? Man, what would the budget for that show be?
It would be expensive.
It reminds me of
though.
The book, the Deep Space Nine book series, The Worlds of Deep Space Nine, where it was like that.
Yeah.
Each story was a different planet,
Yes.
which I've never read, but I'm familiar with those.
I have them. I haven't read them either, but I have them. I'll get to them someday. Like everything else.
A Trek show jumping around mirror universes. Oh,
Ooh,
like
universe.
parallels, but like
like in the comics, the universe where they're cats. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or the one where
I
they're
don't
like
wanna
all
see
like
that far.
plant people or something. Oh man, that got
That might
crazy.
be if they were going to do a comedic. I know they're going to do one anyway, like Lower Decks, but more of a comedic Star Trek animated series. That would be cool. Jump around different mirror universes.
Yes. I'm on board.
Bruce, Discovery had some great West Wing walk and talks.
They did. Yes.
They did.
Yeah.
A lot more handheld in the newer series than in the old series, I was noticing. To the point that, like, I was watching, like I said, we've been watching Enterprise and the episode Carpenter Street. I was like, there were all these camera moves where they're like, this guy's talking, then it moves over here and it does a weird zoom in and comes back out. And I was like, this is really weird. And then I was like, oh, this looks like Discovery. Like, this is all handheld stuff. That's what's going on.
Wow. Yeah.
So, it just, the language of it has changed so much. The camera's just bolted down so much in the older Star Trek series. It was really weird to see that. And I'm like, oh, that's new film language that we hadn't gotten before that.
Yeah.
Still want the Starfleet Academy show.
Oh my gosh. How many years have we heard there's a movie, a show? I mean, nothing ever happens. It's always
Star Trek 6 was supposed to be a Starfleet Academy thing. Like, that was a Nick Meyer thing way back when.
Yeah. And nothing ever, it always seems like something is in development, it's in the works, and then nothing happens.
No.
But yes, I would like that.
Yeah. So back to the questions. Paul Nyatt, is Soji a traditional android or grown like the Golem? I think she was grown, right? Because that was the fractal neuronic cloning. It was a like biological body, I think they had said. So
she eats and drinks and probably poops and pees. Yeah, we don't want to think about those things, but
yeah, they didn't quite get there in the discussion of she has blood and mucus and spit.
Well, I like, Brandi, how you say she probably can pee. I think
we do speak about what a woman does in the water closet.
Well, it's funny because Soji really didn't know she was an android. She always thought she was human. And did she go around going, I know I'm human, I just don't poop and pee for some reason.
I was going to say.
And then here's the thing that really is just like, does she have reproductive organs?
Oh,
because well, obviously she has a vagina, but I'm just saying, is it attached to a uterus and ovaries?
It would have to be, because she had been like X-rayed or use a tricorder or something, right? She had to. Yeah.
But we don't talk about those indelicate things. It's just anatomy, people.
We should. We should talk about these things.
Yeah.
I would love if it ever came up and like Picard's like, wait, you've never. No, it's like, didn't clue you in.
We should probably move on.
Probably.
Yeah, let's not
Star
go
Trek
any
and
further down that.
Pokemon crossover.
No,
give Pike a Pikachu.
I'm not.
Now I know, because on Twitter he's Captain Pikachu, I think, or something like that. She I'm
is.
so sorry.
That's right. Yes. Anyway, I gave thumbs down because I'm not big into crossovers. Some have worked for me in the comics, but I just don't want things to cross over with Star Trek.
It does work in a comic medium, not so much in live action.
Right.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Animated, okay. You could do that. Make it for the kids.
Star Trek and Scooby-Doo, sure.
But live action.
I love this TKHUI 9 Department of Temporal Investigations. I love those novels. Yes. I love those novels, and I love like the way they're written as like a procedural, and like he says here, like the X-Files, exactly. So yeah, I love that. Just agents doing their job.
Yes.
But you know what? That show would be so difficult to track for the writers that they're bound to mess things up, and people are going to point out something wrong in the continuity because but they went back to and that. I mean, people would be like ripping that up. I mean, that would be moment.
I would almost, if I were a television writer, like intentionally do that and just have the characters dismiss it with a one-line thing every once in a while or something. It's like,
Yep.
didn't the thing we did in like last week counteract that? It's like, no, quantum fluctuations. Anyway,
Exactly. And do little things like somebody's like, I swear I put my keys here. Different timeline. Oh,
right.
I forgot. I rode in with you on this timeline together. I forgot. We carpooled.
Oh, I love it. Okay, some more questions. What does a Star Trek toilet even look like?
Don't
They
you
actually
wanna
use
know?
the 3 shells. That's
What?
do you not know that reference?
It's a Demolition Man reference. Come on.
Oh, I don't know that. What didn't we see one at some point? Why am I feel like we saw one?
Star Trek 5, when they're in the brig, Kirk hits a button and this thing pops out from the wall and he sits on it. The lid's closed though, so we don't know what the internals look like.
I just assumed there were no toilets, that they just beam things out of your body. You have to pee, urine goes, everything. You know.
So convenient. No, I always assumed that they retracted into the wall because the sinks do that as well.
Yeah. And I think in Deep Space Nine, they call it waste extraction. Which, it's an interesting term. Or at least the Ferengi all call it that.
I would just love to see someone like take some shots from, like, for example, TNG, where you see like Troy in her quarters, like walking out of her room, which could be the bathroom, and you just hear a toilet flushing in the background. Like,
But
just
did
give it
she
quick.
wash her hands?
Right.
Did she not wash her hands? Or do we still hear it flushing?
Oh.
Because she should have washed her hands. That toilet flushing would be over by the time she came out.
I like this idea.
So, yeah, exactly.
So we've got the sonic showers, right? So it follows
I love this.
that.
I wish
Right?
they would make these today. Oh man, that would be good. No more toilet paper running out in the grocery stores.
Yeah. And actually, there's no shortage of ideas because Mossy G then has this too. So
Why? Why? No.
oh.
Oh my.
Oh.
Hey, we're gaining more viewers, so
We've discovered the secret.
it's a
Oh my god.
secret.
Talk about bodily functions and your ratings go
And
Seth
this
MacFarlane is writing ideas down for the Orville right now. From this.
and this message is for you, Bruce. Right?
I've never watched Demolition Man. I've never seen it.
He doesn't know about the 3 shells.
I don't know what that is. I know what like
it's-
shells are.
It is a stupid, funny film. I
It
get a
is.
kick out of it.
Is that the one Arnold was in that? Schwarzenegger, right? Is
Nope.
that the
No.
one?
That was
No.
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone? Okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I have to watch that.
It's one years and years because I'm like, I don't like Sylvester Stallone movie. Somebody finally watch it. Hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
put
Series
that on my
ideas,
list.
I'm
In it.
assuming. Oops.
Oh.
That's true. Yeah. Captain Pike finally finds a space horse. Cool. Maybe makes that trip to Nimbus 3 or something.
What
Not
is a
lot of-
space
okay,
horse?
We'll move on.
What's a space horse? What is a horse that rides in space?
I don't know.
Or a horse that takes up a lot of space? Okay, I'll stop.
He wants a
Vanguard.
paddock on the Enterprise.
Vanguard is a live action series. I would love to see that.
I was thinking about that a few minutes ago. Yes. But I've already read the book, so I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, Demolition Man. Okay, now I have it on my list. That's what I was working on. It's on my watch list. I use an app called Just Watch. It's a great app. Just Watch, and then you can type anything, any movie or show, or whatever you're looking for, and it tells you what streaming services currently are carrying it.
Ooh.
So you know if it's on Netflix or if it's on Amazon Prime or something obscure that could be Crackle or whatever. It tells you where to find it, and I love it. It's great.
Golly, I need to get that.
Yes, Just Watch.
That's cool. Yeah. Zamboni Josiah has a sign on the bathroom door that says waste extraction.
That does sound like a Star Trek thing, doesn't it?
I'm curious as to when people come over and they see that sign.
How much you want to bet we're going to see that in Lower Decks?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And Lower Decks refers to the lower deck of a starship.
Yes.
Not the lower deck in your body. That waste extraction.
The poop deck.
Sorry.
Yeah, that joke was.
The poop deck's
right
an
there.
actual
That
thing.
wasn't a joke. It was real.
I know.
Mhm.
It's only funny because it's real.
Exactly.
What, Dan? I mean, we can be done, but you're just still going.
I'm enjoying these comments. I think we were imagining that scenario earlier. Some silver toilet paper stuck to her track boots. Oh dear. I don't know. Are we done? We might be done.
Lawrence Todd.
What?
I doff my cap to you.
Oh, nicely done.
So, Brandi, there's your Star Trek series idea. You can steal that one. That would be what your series is about. Star Trek, boldly go. It's a
on that
show.
note.
On that note.
Might be calling it a night, but yeah, so we have the 4. No?
I like Liam Smart's last comment. I want to address that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. What would the ideal alien to you look like?
Like Alice Eve, who played Carol Marcus. I know she's not an alien. She's not an alien, but that's how my ideal alien would look like.
All right. So on that note, so we have the 4 episodes: Star Trek Beyond, A Fistful of Datas, Move Along Home, In the Pale Moonlight. I will set up a Twitter poll at Kertrats, Kertrats, and we'll retweet that far and wide. And yeah, vote on which episode you would like us to talk about next week. And I'll set it for I don't know, a 2-day, 3-day poll, something like that. And we'll figure it out and we'll have a few days to watch it. Us and everyone in the comments who wants to participate. And Bruce, we have a...
You have to say the poll correctly.
Sorry. We will be setting up to poll. I apologize.
Thank you. I have that pin too. I didn't put it on.
Oh.
I have it to poll.
Are those the fan set pin?
Dang right.
Fan sets. Yes. Get your oh wait, wrong podcast. That's another show.
This is the one I've got right at the moment here.
Oh. Hey, I saw on so Trek Geeks had their first live show on Tuesday, and they were showing 25th anniversary Voyager one that's coming out.
I saw that one. I saw Fansets tweeted that. That looks incredible.
And they have several Voyager ones, but yeah. All celebrating the 25th anniversary. So
still no
Fansets pay up.
Oh, come on.
Still no which, sorry?
Beardy Spock.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
they have these pins that are sort of like a commemoration of each episode of the season, and they do have one with a Beardy Spock on it, but that's not the same as having a Beardy Spock pin. So please get on that. Thank you.
Well, I love that this question is still on screen and you're talking about Beardy Spock. So that's obviously your ideal alien.
It's all applicable.
You're damn right.
Oh,
Was there ever any question? I mean, I felt like the answer was already known.
Oh. Mossy G. Look at his last comment.
this one here?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's not actually spelt backwards. It's just a. It's an
Just
acronym.
kind of
Yeah.
It's the same letters but mixed up.
It's what's the word for that? Anagram.
That's it. Yes, anagram. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining. And like I said, yeah, in the next few minutes, I will put up that to poll, and yeah, we'll vote on what we want to watch. So thanks everyone. Next week we'll do this same time, as long as we're all still stuck in our homes. You have this to look forward to. I don't. I enjoy the heck out of it anyway. So.
Oh, me too. This is. I needed this after this week that I've had. I needed this. So
I just show up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We love your ability to show up, Bruce. So
yeah, showing up is half the battle.
I had to be here because Brandi had a rough week. So
yeah.
Okay, the comments are all about Spock's butt and leather pants now. So
yeah, we've reached the Spock's butt part of the broadcast. So. Yeah, it's time to go, I think. So, yeah.
But I mean, have you seen that butt?
It's pretty impressive.
I saw it live in person. So.
Yeah, shut up! Stop rubbing it in.
I said to my daughter, "Did you see that?"
I did not.
No, but it was funny because my daughter, she's watched a few Discoveries with me. She's not really big into it, but if I have it on, she'll sit and watch a little bit with me. But when we met Ethan Peck, he walked away. I said, well, thanks for sticking. I told my daughter, I'm like, thanks for letting me talk to him. She goes, he's cute. He's hot. I was like, oh, okay. I did you a favor then. I'm sorry, Brandi, that you weren't there. I'm sorry. One day you'll meet him. I'm sure of it.
I don't know. I don't really think he's, like before this whole outbreak happened, I don't think he was really doing any conventions. So,
he came to the Calgary comic, and he'll go other places too.
Be other places. When he can't get work, he'll show up to places.
Oh, whatever. He's getting work left and right now.
Hey, he's reading books too. Did you see that?
Yeah, too many.
Oh.
I would listen to him read it. Anything.
That's cool. Yeah, no, he came to the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo last year. So I feel like, and I think he did Fan Expo in Eastern Canada, probably when they were filming.
Well, none of those places are Utah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he'll go there.
Tell him about fry sauce and he'll be there.
He probably would like fry sauce. He seems like the kind of guy who would be like, oh, new experience. Hey, fry sauce. Cool. And I killed the conversation again. Yay me!
No, it's just I just felt like I shouldn't keep talking because I feel like Dan keeps wanting to end and we're not giving him a chance because we keep talking.
I'm sorry, I keep reading comments.
Oh.
It was his own fault we haven't ended.
Anyway, okay. So we'll end it here. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks so much. And do you guys want to shout out your Twitter handles really quickly?
Brandywine12.
Hey, anybody know what this shirt is? Don't say on the, I don't want the chat to know if they know what this shirt is.
I think I know what it is.
Do you know, Brandi? Can you?
It's difficult to see, so I'm gonna say no. I don't know that. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
I just want to know the chest. So I'll give the chat a moment to see if they know. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Admiral_Rex. That's Admiral with the _Rex. No, it's not the Terran Empire. And also Positively Trek at Positively Trek. That's something Dan and I have on Twitter. Dan, where can you see that? I've stumped the chat, didn't I?
Oh no.
So yeah, at Kertrats, KERTRATS, Positively Trek podcast. I'm editing episode 8 right now, so that's chugging along nicely. Really happy with response to that. So we're gonna keep doing that.
All right, since nobody got it, this is an actual licensed product from Star Trek Beyond. There's your hint.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, what's the name? What's the name, right?
The thing. This.
Yeah, you know.
I can't remember the word. Sorry. Yeah.
You know it, right? Do you remember what's the name?
I know it.
What is it? Go ahead. Oh, wait. Paul just got.
Paul Knight got it. There it is.
I thought you were talking. Oh, you were talking about Yorktown. I was thinking about the thing inside Yorktown.
I just had a fun idea for another show now that we're not going to do next week because next week we're doing this thing, but like live Star Trek trivia contest.
Oh gosh, what do I have to make? I would fail at that.
Oh, this could be fun. Okay,
I'll tell you one thing that Dan has said one time to me, well, a couple times, but it's been a while, that he would kind of like to go up against Larry Nemeczek in Star Trek trivia. We can make that happen.
Oh man! Oh god!
If everybody's in for it, we'll get Larry on here, and it's Larry against me.
Okay. Oh man.
I would suck at trivia because I'm always forgetting things. I was like
one to come up with the questions.
I'd rather do that, yeah, because I'm always like the one going like, oh yeah, her name, or that episode, what, and that's why I like podcasting with Dan, because he always goes, oh, and he just gives the answer, and then usually he'll say, why do I know that?
Yeah, why is that taking up space in my brain?
I'll mention some obscure episode. And I'll say, oh yeah, and that character, some guest character, and he goes, oh yeah, played by so and so. I think he's like, why do I know that? Anyway.
Oh man, that would be fun. That would be interesting. Anyway, once again, have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time. And check out that to poll and vote for which episode you want us to do.
Ah!